And welcome to a brand new episode of the 60-Second Car. This is minute 39. My name is Dan, joined as always by the co-hostess with the most hostess, Mr. Daniel.
Accurate, yep. Mo-hostness.
You know what time it is?
Could it be?
It's diesel time!
It's diesel time.
60-Second
Welcome back to episode or minute 39 of The Fast and the Furious. This is a pretty interesting episode. I mean, these next few episodes are pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about like too far down the line, but we got a pretty good interesting episode. But before we get into that, I wanted to, and I mentioned this before we started the podcast. And maybe this is a thing that maybe I'm just gonna do from now on. If I listen to a podcast and they mention the Fast and the Furious for some reason, and tell me if I'm crazy, does it kind of feel like they're mentioning us?
It doesn't feel like it. They are. They basically are, yeah.
Right. They're talking about us. They're talking about stuff.
We're family. Yeah.
Exactly.
They're family. We're family.
We're family. So I was listening to, I think, the second Live from the Bell House episode, which was, I think, either early this year or late last year. I forget which one it was. But they talked about, and this is actually the reason I want to bring it up, because it's a question that I think I have for you and us. But you as a person who has done many podcasts in your time, and including this one, do you think, and I think back to any podcast that you've ever produced, ever hosted, or even ever guested on, including obviously my previous one and this one here and everything in between. Do you think you ever have anybody that is in organized crime that listens to any of your
That
shows?
listens? Oh, maybe. I mean, with Far Beyond Metal, the audience can probably get a little dicey depending on the band. And, you know, some fan bases are a little rougher than others. How organized they are? Don't know.
Sure. How organized is organized crime? And like, really?
I mean, I just finished watching The Sopranos for the first time, and I feel like they had it down pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty organized. They really don't like therapy though. Like they pretty much frown on therapy, which is weird. But
I mean,
go ahead.
Toxic masculinity, feelings, etc.,
Yep.
etc. It's all there.
Yep, exactly.
Nikes.
Yeah, so that came up because it was the Zooks, Jason Mantzoukas, who talked about, you know, their podcast and how CBB hit 14 years, so their podcast that's a different podcast.
How did this get made?
How did this get made? I almost said Never Not Funny, which is another podcast I probably need to catch up on because I haven't listened to it in a while. Is 13 years old. I didn't realize that they just started a year after CBB.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy how it's crazy how old that show is. And then I don't know when Who Charted started, but in my head, CBB had been around for a while, and then those two podcasts came later. But apparently How This Get Made is pretty old at this point.
Yeah. I think the first two I started listening to were in 2007 or 2008, and it was Never Not Funny and Jordan Jesse Go, and both of them are still going.
Yeah.
And there are others in there. I think, you know, Comedy Death Ray started, which became Bang Bang. But that was a radio show that just put out again. And then, yeah, comics saw a market and people just kept tapping. WTF, million years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember when it was literally just Mark Maron with his comedy friends squashing beefs. Now he's got fucking Obama on there.
Now he's creating more beefs. That's just kind of what he does, from what I understand, is he just creates beef.
Who are your guys?
But wow, and now this is gonna segue into our third episode that we're recording today. Things just kind of disappear from my head sometimes. I'm listening to you, I get distracted, all kinds of stuff. But we there's a lot of these podcasts. So they mentioned us, right? And they talked about, of course, they mentioned us. We're just saying that now.
Yep.
And they talked about how, yes, what if some just like mobster from, just an organized crime was listening to the podcast right as he's about to like, go hit a truck, and he's like, laughs and goofs, Scott Aukerman saying hot doggerman, and then get out, blah, 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 shoot the guy, and then steal, and then Jason Mantzoukas mentions, and he takes all the DVD VHS players out of the truck as if it's the Fast and the Furious. And I was like, hey, that's us. But obviously.
Obviously, it is us, yes.
It is. Yeah, obviously, it is us. Of course.
Listeners, if you're out there doing organized crime and you listen to our podcast while you do it, let us know. We're supporting you.
Yeah.
I think we should say that, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Don't tell Katie. But yeah, so I don't know. I find it funny. If you're a podcast or you know of a podcast that mentions the Fast and Furious that has nothing to do with the Fast and Furious, also let us know that, because I will go listen to it. But today we're talking about episode 39, and we are leaving the house that has been turned into a FBI police headquarters. So we didn't talk about this last time. Why do they have to do this?
Why do they rent the house? No idea. That's a great question. Maybe the FBI needs to set up somewhere they don't have extra office space at the police station. Yeah, and then it becomes all right. Okay. It
Please.
becomes even weirder that they arrest Brian Spillner and take him to a house in the middle of nowhere, and then they leave him handcuffed the entire time. Because if someone's getting arrested, they should go to the police station, not a mansion on a hill.
Yeah, if this is either in the Hollywood Hills or the Beverly Hills, coming from, I think was downtown, to here, I mean, with today's traffic, that's like almost 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. That's a long time sitting back there handcuffed.
And they just left him in because he likes the appearance, wants to keep up the appearance and realism and all that.
I like to role play. You're a criminal. You're a naughty, naughty criminal. I gotta take you in.
Your safe word is nos. Oh no.
I say that all the time.
So always safe.
Always safe. Yes. Never not safe. Anyway, I don't know if somebody wants to answer why that is a thing. Please do, because I'm thoroughly confused as to why they. Oh, I mean, I guess it's for undercover purposes, because I think they do this again in Too Fast, Too Furious. They just meet at a abandoned like gas station or garage or something.
But like, for the sake of keeping up appearances, the neighborhood's going to notice a bunch of people that look like cops going to a mansion. There were like 15 people there. This is
Beverly Hills. They're probably very pro cop. I don't think they're going to tell anybody.
Sure.
I'm sure they're fine.
Oh, the neighborhood watch is really beefing up their squad. Very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at all. They got guns now. They got suits. Oh, my goodness.
They're definitely going to get the guy in the sign and the fedora.
Yeah. Did you see that movie, by the way, Neighborhood Watch?
No.
It's got Richard Iowata. It's the only reason I'm interested in it, but I've never seen it either.
So you said that, and my mind went to a completely different movie.
What? I want to know what this is.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where the neighbor is, I think, Samuel L. Jackson, and he's a cop, and he doesn't like the people that just moved in, so he's kind of like tormenting them, and he's a thriller, but they can't call the cops because he's a cop. That's what I thought Neighborhood Watch was.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, so Neighborhood Watch, I have not seen it. Watch movie
It's called Lakeview Terrace is the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. That's a title of a movie that you described for sure. Without seeing it, that's exactly what it is. But yeah, Neighborhood Watch, it's called The Watch. My bad. It's called The Watch. It's Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, Jonah Hill, and Richard Iowata.
You know what's funny? That actually makes a world of difference. I do know the movie you're talking about. Neighborhood Watch. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Because, well, so I'm not crazy, right? It is about the Neighborhood Watch, right?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Okay. I mean, it's got 4 funny dudes, but it's got a 3.8 rating on Google. That's not great.
It's like that movie Tower Heist. I wanted to see that because it had like people I liked, but it got terrible reviews. I think Eddie Murphy was in it.
Oh,
Maybe also.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yes.
Did you actually see that? I did not.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I didn't. There is a Neighborhood Watch from 2005, but I think it's a weird indie film. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. Anyway, so Neighborhood Watches, they're either like you said, impressed that the Neighborhood Watch is getting beefier, or they're like, maybe Neighborhood Watch is about to start some beef because this new crew full of suits and guns are moving in on their territory.
Are we back to organized crime?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they run themselves like they think they're organized crime. But yeah. So anyway, let's actually pull up the shot here. This is, I think, as he's saying, one of your favorite lines.
Yeah, like the minute cuts when he's saying he's got a nitrous oxide in his blood and a gas tank for a brain. Like I think he says for a brain, and it's in the next minutes.
And he says, "Don't turn your back on him" or something.
Basically, yeah.
So at this point, the sergeant very much thinks that Brian is fully still a cop and undercover and doing his job. I think it's the next time we're at this house, he doesn't think that. But right now at this time, he's like, watch your back. Just watch your. What if he says it that way? Like this song.
Like as he says it, the soundtrack just watch your back in the background quietly.
No, it's the other guy, the driver, comes in the background and whispers it in Brian's ear. Watch your back.
Goddamn Muse?
Yes, Muse. Yep, because he's like J Muse. Got it. Yep, memories. Oh yes. Then Brian walks off and says, "I need another car."
I'm gonna need another car.
This is the look that the sergeant gives him. I don't know what look this is, or if he thinks that he's crazy. But as we come to learn, and we cut to the garage here.
Go back for a second.
Yes.
So this isn't so much about this screenshot that we have up for the video viewers, listeners. Brian's about to leave after getting fake arrested. Is he gonna have to get back in the squad car and taken somewhere else to get let go, or is he just gonna like walk home from this mansion?
So that
because for keep it for appearances, they have a potential suspect that they handcuffed, and now he's just in the hills somewhere.
Well, that leads me to that begs the question for me is, when people do go pick up other people for questioning or what have you, do they drive him back, or do they like call a taxi for him?
So weird thing. Technically, my second job I ever had was working at a gas station in Woodland. Woodland is the county seat of Yolo County, which means, I don't know if that means this necessarily, but that's where the county jail is. And the gas station I worked at was maybe a half mile down the road from the county jail. Literally, like once a week, someone would get let out after being arrested and held in the drunk tank or something. They'd come up in like a mesh suit with no clothes looking for a payphone. So they just open the door, they say bye, and they say good luck. And a lot of these people don't have good luck. And they got arrested like, 2 towns over. They got to figure it out because people don't have payphones anymore.
So
that was, mind you, that was 15 years ago. So maybe everyone's got a cell phone now. But yeah, that was a weekly occurrence, having to tell someone who was down on their luck, sorry, I don't have a payphone. I don't know where one is.
Okay. All right. Well, that kind of answers that question, because I mean, we don't know what happens. Well, okay. So I don't remember what happens here, but does Sergeant like kind of step forward like he's going to the car and he's just stunned by what Brian said? Or I
think it's just a reaction shot of I need a new car, and he's like,
So I mean, yeah, maybe he calls a taxi, or maybe he calls Harry. He's like, Harry, come pick me up.
Oh yeah, sure, that's it. Cool, answer it. I'm satisfied with that answer. Harry's in everybody's pocket. Fine. Yep.
Sounds like a guy who's gonna go 2 to 5 for selling or taking in stolen goods. I don't know. I don't know what he says there. Well, I don't know why I'm doing a fake, terrible Vin Diesel accent when that's what Brian says. But anyway, speaking of Brian and Paul Walker, apparently it was either around the time we last recorded or in between now and then. There was a festival, like Speed Fest or something, that Paul's brother Cody puts on, and I forget his name, the guy who played Han. I don't know his name. Do you know his name?
We don't. Wow, why don't I know his name?
I think it's, is it
Sung Kang?
Yeah. So
yes, without looking that up, I kept wanting to say Liu Kang, and that's Mortal Kombat.
That makes sense. Liu Kang, that'd be great. But he and Tyrese went to this, and because I believe that Cody is in possession of most of Paul's cars, if not all of Paul's cars, and I think both of those actors also own some of the movie cars too. They just brought a bunch of movie cars to the race track, and then like it was just a big fest where they got to meet everybody and pay homage and stuff like that.
Why didn't we know about this sooner? Where was it? Why didn't we go?
I just started following Cody on Instagram about all this, so hopefully next time I hear about it, because this is apparently the second year they did it. So
all right, next year we're doing a live remote from there.
Live remote, yeah, with a Zoom, just walking around when people are staring at us. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Well, look, we get some people from the movies on the show. Tyrese on the show.
It would be cool if like we walked around and just like took a bunch of pictures and be like, yeah, we analyze your movies minute by minute. Do you want to say something? You want to talk about it for a second?
Do you want to talk about how many times you say breath?
Okay, next year.
And then you don't?
Yeah, right. Next year at this time, where will we be?
I think we'll be in 2, maybe 3.
So like end of 2, beginning of 3, maybe?
Something like that. And I'm not going to do the math now. I can figure it out.
No, it's fine. I just didn't know if you maybe are, a math savant.
No.
And then we have, I don't know when we're going to get to the shorts either. I don't know what order those are in. But yeah, so we'll be around then. So we'll, if Tyrese comes out again, who knows if he will. Apparently he didn't come to the first one and he was like upset about it, so he came to the second one. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool if like something like that happened. Who else? Like, I guess they're not really doing much as far as work goes. Oh, plus like, anybody in SAG is striking anyway, so they're not working anyway. So maybe that was part of it. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, so that happened this weekend, and that would have been really cool. Yeah, there's like a long video of Tyrese getting real sad next to Paul Walker's Skyline. The Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline. But yeah, so yeah, that all happened. I think I just tangented. I don't think it had anything to do with what we're talking about, but let's go back to whatever we were just talking about.
All right, so I will lead us into the garage with a quick soundtrack note. So we had Race Against Time Part 2 by Tank featuring Ja Rule, and that is very funny because, slight spoiler for the next episode, within 2 minutes we have 2 different Ja Rule songs.
Yes.
Because again, we've talked about how he's the secret star of this movie despite being in it for 4 minutes.
He's no longer, we will not see his face again.
No, not in this series.
We will not see him. And yeah, through the rest of the podcast, life, unless he makes an appearance in 11 or 10-2 or whatever. But who knows?
Gonna get music drops, I think, throughout this one. Maybe never again musically either.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll let you know.
Did I hear something about Firefest tickets 2.0 going on sale?
Oh, yeah. I was just talking to Katie Bear about this. The dude apparently got out of jail and is already talking about doing a Firefest too. Should we go?
What is that? What is going on?
Fuck it, man. The world's ending. Let's just go nuts with it.
Oh my God. I wonder who's actually going to buy into that. My God.
For the story, I bet it will sell out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And then it'll just be like a normal ass successful festival because they'll have people who are curious enough to give them money. And then it'll be boring.
But then
because
like
it'll go fine.
which artists are gonna sign on to Fire Festival with this reputation?
ICP. Well, no. They're kind of not touring anymore, so whichever one is touring still.
All right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So we cut to their garage, which again I don't think we see again. I don't even know which garage this is. I don't even know where they are, because they're not at Dom's house, right?
No, I guess I didn't clock that either about where the hell they are.
I have no idea where they are. There is a moment where you see the front of Brian's truck backing up into this scene. I didn't catch that, but I don't think we see anything anyway. I also want to note that so Michelle Rodriguez's character Letty has a filthy tank top. Dom's
working hard.
Dom's is pure white, clean as a whistle.
Him and Mia are here at the forefront. She's got a manila folder, probably looking at numbers like she loves to do, but turns out she's not sure what to do with whatever this is, and he just is like dismissing it.
Yeah.
So you don't know how long this conversation's been going on. They opened the shop, Michelle got to work, and these two tried to figure out pi ends. I'm telling you, Mia, pi has a finite number. It gets to the end, we're gonna get to it. No, I'm telling you, I don't know what to do with this. Just leave it, it's fine.
You think Dominic Toretto's talking about pie?
I heard about this number that's also a dessert, and I want to figure it out.
Jesse mentioned it. He forgot why he mentioned it, but he mentioned it, and I've been obsessing over it ever since. So it has a
said
number.
It's kind of algebra, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, and then Mia's like, I don't know what to do with this, because that's what she said. She's like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm like, it's pie. You eat it. I don't know.
Just leave it. It's fine.
But yeah, he's very dismissive about the fact that she's got a concern, and he's like, we'll deal with it later. He obviously doesn't want to deal with it.
No, it's math. It's hard.
And I think they directed Letty to do the right thing, or she already knows what she's doing. She's looking through the air filter at the moment, which you don't really need to examine like that. You can kind of tell that it's dirty, but you do look at it. That is the point of the air filters. Pull it out and look at it.
Is that the point of an air filter, to look at it?
Well, it's the point of pulling it out is to look at it. To make sure it's actually dirty and not like you can run that for another, a couple hundred miles or whatever.
Number 1, look at it. Number 2, filter air.
Yes. It's made to look at. Yes, exactly. I don't know what Jesse's doing. It looks like, honestly, it looks like he's grinding a wrench, but I don't know why he would be doing that.
You got to keep your wrenches sharp.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Hey, dude, a dull wrench is a dangerous wrench. My dad always says that.
Oh, is that why, what's his name? Justin Lin got very hurt in Dodgeball? A true underdog story. Because he couldn't dodge the wrench.
Got hit with a sharp wrench, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it was dull. It was dangerous. It was dull.
Oh, yeah. Patches O'Houlihan did not know to sharpen a wrench. He had all the other stuff, but not that.
No. Oh my goodness. I did show Katie that movie earlier this year, maybe for the first time ever.
Weird. Me too with my Katie.
Really? Okay.
How did yours go? Mine was like, okay, that was fine. I understand why you like that when you were 16 or whatever.
She was every time I was like, oh, that part was funny, right? She just would shake her head. It was like, yeah, sure. Is it like a guy thing to like that movie? I thought it was pretty universal.
I feel like with the certain guys I hung out with, it was a very particular crowd. Because it was that and Anchorman were basically the only sound bites my friends and I talked in when we were like 17. And yeah, whatever that genre is, that early aughts, Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell. Yeah, that's a dude thing, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know. Well, Katie loves Borat. So, I mean, she loves a lot of things that I think sort of leaned in a way. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was universal for some reason. I thought that everybody loved that movie, but if you're Katie, you didn't see it. So there's that.
Katie's weren't allowed to see it when it came out. That's what we're learning.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it sounds like it. I wonder what that was all about. And as we move over to the next second here, as we see a car backing up, we see something that ends up being very, very iconic. However, right now it looks like trash, and I think that's what everybody else sees.
Yeah, what's going on with this car? It's this burnt ass red car.
It's all really.
You said
burnt.
it becomes like. You said it becomes iconic. This is how little I pay attention to cars in this movie, about cars. It becomes iconic? What car is this?
This is the infamous Supra that gets turned into Brian's car for the rest of the movie.
All right. Never made that connection. Sure.
So yeah, this is Brian's Supra. So this is this is how they introduce and basically essentially how they confirm that Brian is part of the crew now. They build him a car, and that starts here. And everybody walks in, everybody's freaked out. I noticed Leon and Vince aren't here. I don't know if that's significant at all. I don't know if they just weren't, they're like, yeah, we don't need them for this scene, I guess, but
I mean, this shot has a car in it and then 4 people filling the rest of the frame. They couldn't fit 2 more people. That's fine.
Yeah, I think legitimately that's probably what it is. They're like, this garage doesn't fit everybody. We don't need to have everybody in the scene. Plus, they're probably not going to bring anything here anyway. I think Michelle Rodriguez is doing pretty much all the heavy lifting in the background. And then you have, obviously Vin Diesel, and then later, I don't remember Jesse's character's name or his actor name, but Jesse walks up and he's part of this scene too. And so they walk up and we have this. They don't know what they're staring at. Dumpster fire, and also your iconic. Now Brian's bringing the charm. Right.
He's laying it on thick here.
Yeah, and because he is the charm. He becomes the charm of the group. Obviously, he's not. The family, uses Tyrese as the charm, and he's more than the hero character. But this is him throughout this movie. Basically, he's the charming one, and he's he's got his baby blue eyes, his blonde hair. He's
just an Aryan dreamboat.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "Oh, this is your." He kind of actually puts on a Keanu Reeves. Wow. Dude, brah, kind of movement.
Ted
here.
Or Bill, whichever one he is.
Yeah, is he Bill? He's Bill, right? No, it's Bill and Ted. He must be Ted, I think, because I think he's second in that billing. But yeah, he puts on the the Keanu Reeves, like, here's your car, man. That's I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the vibe I get from Brian in this scene.
It is an odd line delivery that kind of stands out among his character's other lines. But yeah, I feel that he's putting on a surfer bro or something. But why? Like, there's no water in these movies. No one drinks it. They don't deal with it until it's frozen.
Speaking of not drinking water, we do actually have a reappearance of Red Bull.
But label in, you can't really tell it's Red Bull, but
I think he actually does a label out move.
Okay.
But yes, I mean right here it's there's no label. He does have a pinky out though, I noticed. Very fancy.
Classy. I will say in this shot, in this scene, Finn's looking very handsome.
Yeah, absolutely. He's pretty yoked out, and he's wearing his handsome guy big leather strap watch.
Of course.
Because that's what you want to wear in a garage.
Well, he's not getting dirty. It's fine.
That's true.
As we've already established.
His tank top is clean. Also, I mean, is this the origin of the white tank tops all the time? I don't remember how often he wears them in this movie. But I know that they get married and he wears a white tank top, right?
That's right, he does. I forgot about that. That's incredible.
Because like Letty's in like a nice dress, isn't she? She's like a nice white dress, and he's in a nice white tank top.
I think he's in his classiest tank top with like some sweet ass like actual suit pants or something.
Yeah, it looks like
yeah.
yes, or khakis or whatever, beach linen pants or something. I don't know.
The other time there's water in these movies.
yeah, exactly. I mean that whole we'll get to it. That whole short it's a whole half of the movie is a romantic scene on the water. So I don't know. Maybe water's too sexy for them and they can't handle themselves around water.
And a very sexless movie otherwise. Yeah, I think too much moisture in all the right and wrong places.
Yeah.
So there's a line in this minute that I actually pitched for this show, a little peek behind the curtain before we settled on 60-second car. He said something along the lines of, I wanted a 10-second car, you brought me a 10-minute car. Before we settled on a minute, or you brought the idea of a minute, I pitched 10-minute car because it said 10 in it, plus it was 10 minutes at a time. We get through it in less than 10 years, but but then I also said the worst idea of 10-second car, which is 10 seconds at a time, which put us at 30 years. So I'm glad we met in the middle.
Did we really consider 10 seconds at a time?
I floated it, and then I mentioned how long it would take, and you were like, oh, God, no.
Yeah, like, you know, as much as I love doing this podcast with you, I think we'd be forced to hate each other if we did that for that long.
We're already pushing it. We're not even through one movie.
We're at 39 minutes. Oh, my God. So, wait, 39 minutes would have been another, like, I don't know how many months. A long time. Jesus. But yeah. Anyway, because we're at 12 weeks now, I think, of doing this podcast, and
something like that,
yeah. So that's, you know, we're not even that far in the movie. I'm not gonna talk about it. That just puts it in weird perspective.
Anyway, cars. Yeah, there's a red one. Give me a nice one. He clangs it. Oh, it's a beat up car.
We do get another sort of, and this is probably what will be the title of this, as all you listeners and viewers will probably already know. He says more like a 10-minute car, and then I think Letty's like, not even, and then Vin's like, not even if you push it, you push it across, and then I think Jesse bangs it and says, if or tow it.
Yeah, and then you can't even tow it. Why can't you tow it? It got towed there.
We literally towed it. Yeah, it's on a tow truck. Yes, exactly.
Okay, that confirmed it. Sorry, I was going to ask you to do something, and in the next screenshot, you've got Mia looking happy.
Yes.
I was going to ask if our sleeves allowed in this shop, because Jesse's also sleeveless, but Mia's got sleeves. Well, she's in the office, clearly. So.
Right. Yeah, she's not in the garage.
No.
And Brian's going to have to take that off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to rip that shirt. The shirt looks kind of nice. You're going to rip the shirt. You just got to take it off. Just, yeah, do it. I do love this shot, though, because it's like, it's blurry, but it's pure armpit.
And he's showing off that he's like a fucking dolphin under there, just hairless.
he's a smooth dolphin, and he likes to like the framing to look at Mia is through an armpit frame.
He did a couple push-ups for the scene. He did a quick wax. Can't be imperfect.
You think he's like The Rock, where there's just somebody walking around with a spray bottle full of baby oil in it, just spraying him?
He's not here, but in later movies, after he finds out about The Rock doing that, absolutely.
Does he get wetter after Fast 5?
Oh, he's definitely like. I feel like there's definitely something going on, and like 10 all feels like it's shot through filters. So, but that's 20 years later.
But I mean, for sure, there's got to be a dedicated person with a spray bottle full of baby oil just walking around spraying them. Because
I should get one.
I watched Fast 5 recently, and even Katie she's playing a game on the side, and she mentioned, she looked up a couple times, she's like, every time I look up, he's always wet. It's like, I was like, yeah, that's just kind of his thing. He's just wet. Oh my
okay,
God.
so the next part in the scene, they say pop the hood, and it reveals a 2JZ engine, which I looked up, and you know how I am with cars. Turns out that is a fancy Toyota engine. That is the extent of my research, and that scene is a big deal in this car.
So because of the Fast and Furious Instagram algorithm, I think it's evolved into just car algorithm for me. And I've seen probably a dozen videos of like people literally just talking about engines. What's your top 10 engines? What are your top 10 4-cylinder engines? And they talk about, oh, I like this engine. Oh, I like this engine. And then somebody's like, oh, I actually really like this engine. And he comes back to the original guy and he's like, you do? And I'm like, I don't know what the heck's going on here, man.
Dan, my guy, you keep getting suggestions because you keep watching them.
I know. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Not watch them. Mine's all people playing bass in Fancy Way and Otters, and it's perfect because those are the videos I watch when they come up.
How am I supposed to know I don't like it if I don't watch it?
You keep watching them. You clearly like them.
I don't, I swear.
You've got Stockholm Syndrome for this engine.
What if they're going to make a Fast and the Furious reference? I don't know. I do legitimately like watching diagnostic videos because some of the guys there are really funny in what they figure out.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
That sounds like a level of hell to me. A layer of hell. Like every time they talk about car stuff, I just like it's just can't. But they say everything so pointed, like, oh, it's a 2JZ engine. I'm like, oh, what is that? Is that important? And I start to try and research it to try and be more educated for this podcast. And I get 4 words into my description. I'm like, I can't do it.
See, that's why
it's
you hate it.
It's a fancy engine.
That's why you hate it. I hear that and I'm just like, what? And then I move on. And it's gone. It's disappeared. I don't care about it anymore. And in fact, I never cared about it. So that's just where it is. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's 24 valve. That's all I know. But Jesse starts doing his thing. This is where Jesse gets his glow up, I think, in this franchise.
What do you think happened to this car? Because it's got a busted ass window. It looks like it was on fire. The inside of it, despite outside looking like it's kind of on fire, it just looks dusty. So, like, what kind of life did this car have?
Maybe when he asked for the car, he said, I want not the same car, but a car that has been done to it just exactly like what had been done to my green car. I need car. To be, yeah, exactly. I need it to be shot up and caught on fire because of the NOS and then blown up and make really cool, weird color fire.
What if they went to one of those like stress relief places where you drop however much money and you just get to break shit?
What do you mean, like, a smash room? Sure. Another unfortunately named company.
Why is it unfortunate? That's a perfect name. That should be 2 businesses next to each other. One's a sex club, one's a break stuff place.
But like, it's only unfortunate in the sense that if you walk into this and be like, welcome to the smash room, and somebody's like, oh, well, okay, zip. I guess that's what we're doing.
Becomes Butters from South Park. I'm ready.
I am ready. Yes, exactly.
So this is I'm gonna say this out loud and fuck up my algorithms. But
okay,
Katie Bear and I have been just like, with everything going on, personal life, cat, etc. We just like dove into like the darkest corner of trash TV and have been rewatching her rewatching, me watching for the first time, Jersey Shore. Mm-hmm. So when they do it in that show, they call it smushing. So you saying smash room, I'm like, what about a smush room?
I don't like the word smush.
It's an entire business where they just like get one of those hydraulic lift or hydraulic compressing things and just like smush stuff underneath it. And that's what the business is. So what I'm saying is after we get through this podcast in 10 years, that'll be our thing. A room where you just use a hydraulic smasher.
I don't want to call it smushing. Can we not? Can we stop saying
smush room?
Can we stop saying smushing?
Dan and Daniel's smush room.
I don't want to ask, I don't want to go up to Katie and be like, hey, you want to smush? I don't want that.
Do you know what the alternate read on that line is on that show? Put it in.
Put it in?
Yeah.
See, honestly,
he's looking better to put it in is what they said. Yeah.
That's better.
I mean, it's to the point. But like smush has a little finesse to it, I think.
Well, like maybe it's because Smash has become such a like stronghold in modern society, and like when people say Smash theme, we know what that means. Calling it smush,
yeah, you pick Captain Falcon or whoever, and you go Smash, right?
Yeah, exactly. Falcon punch. But if you're gonna go smush, that sounds like something's not working. It sounds like one of the parts are not working properly.
Something's getting thumbed in. They're still getting it in, but it's being thumbed in. It's being smushed in.
This is Jersey Shore. It's possible that they get so drunk all the time that they just have to do it that way. I don't know.
Maybe. They seem to get it in a lot on that show.
I wanted to call her Smushy for some reason.
Well, on that show, like they call like the quote unquote cast or whatever calls her everything but.
Everything but Snooki?
Yeah, they call her Snickers or Snoodles or something. They just call her every other S name.
Okay. Then I need to hear Smushy. I need to hear the situation say Smushy. I don't need to, but I'm saying that out loud.
If when it happens, I'll let you know.
Okay. Hey, Smushy.
I'll back it up. Yep.
God, I hate it. Hate it so much. This brings us to the end of the minute, actually.
Show enough does enough.
Does he say Japan at this point?
Whoa, I don't have that written down, so maybe, but I don't think so.
It's either right here or right after. I think it is after this. I think it's in the next minute. So I'm gonna say cut that now, but it's not gonna get cut.
Sure.
So we're at the minute of this where I think he's talking about putting $15,000 into the car or whatever.
That's what I have starting the next minute. So
okay, well there we go. There we go. So with that, we come to the end of this minute. Minute 39 is kaput. We've been introduced to yet another character, aka Toyota Supra. And we're about to jump into exactly what that's going to become. What else did we learn in this episode, this minute? Not much, right? Just that Red Bull's back and Vin doesn't get default. Vin doesn't. I almost said
Vin doesn't get default.
I meant to say dirty, and I thought in my brain, my brain here, my smooth, squishy little brain, diesel. So I said default. Anyway,
good.
Dano, you're beautiful.
Thanks.
So we are going to end there. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Make sure to go to danotage.tv/60secondcar to find all of our links, where to follow us, where to listen, where to watch, all of those good things. Find out when we're doing, what days we put them up. It's usually Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. But lately, because of I've gone corporate and all these things, it's been all over the place. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying. Hopefully you're still watching. Make sure to follow us on all the things, like I said. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Family.